we asked you folks at home to send in some of your scary stories, okay? And we picked some of the best ones, but we also have some scary stories ourselves that we like to share with you guys. Nothing too scary now, okay? We're not gonna, go too hard on it, but that's okay. We're gonna make this just a nice scary stories program for everybody. And ExXtian Erin, I think your story is the one that we ought to start with first. What do you think about that?
I do think so, yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and get started, Erin. Let's hear your story from your perspective. Here we go.
I was visiting the city library to research some topics for the show and happened to fall asleep in one of the book stacks. When I woke up, it was midnight, and the only illumination came from the exit signs and the few lights that had been left on, creating an eerie glow. Suddenly, the giggle of a child echoed eerily through the deserted building. The library was known to be haunted, but I never believed in that. I started thinking that maybe the janitor or the night watch person had seen me and were trying to play a prank on me. The giggle came again. "Hello? Is someone there?" I asked. No answer. I remembered that children's books had been on the second floor. I went to see if anyone might be there. "Hello?" I asked again. "Is anyone here?" Seconds passed. Then I heard a noise. A moment later, saw something flying towards my head. I managed to duck just in time, and when it came to rest, I saw it was a copy of The Dark by Lemony Snicket. "Who's there?" I said. "And why would you throw this book at me?" A girl's voice answered.
"You left me and never said goodbye."
"I'm sorry," I said. I don't even know who you are." After a brief moment, I heard,
"You know me. We were best friends, and you left me. Everyone left me."
The voice was mournful. "Please tell me who you are," I said. "I would like to help you." I heard a noise behind me, and when I turned around, a girl about 8 years old stood there, with a book tucked under her arm. A sudden feeling of recognition came over me, but I couldn't narrow down who she was. She had brown eyes under her glasses, and her dark hair was tied in a ponytail on each side of her head. Her faded plaid dress ended just above the knees, and she had a rounded collar. She looked solid, but was floating a few inches above the floor.
"Do you remember me now?"
she said.
"You left me here to die, and now I'm all alone. We promised never to leave each other."
Vague memories started coming to mind, but I still couldn't place who she was. "If I did, I'm sorry," I said, "but I'm still having trouble remembering. Please tell me your name."
"Don't you remember? It's me, Lonnie. Lonnie Lewis."
The mention of the name caused everything to come flooding back to me. We were next door neighbors and best friends until a tragic accident happened in this library, an incident that I had blocked out of my memory up until just now. "Oh no, Lonnie, I missed you. You were my best friend." She looked down.
"I missed you too,"
she said. "You must get lonely here." She lifted the book from under her arm and hugged it to her chest.
"I have my books,"
she said. I could see the book she was holding. It was another copy of The Dark. It was our favorite book. We would sneak off to the corner of the library and read it and try to scare each other. It was great fun. "I remember reading that with you," I said. We always covered our eyes and peeked through our fingers to read page 47. The corner of Lonnie's lips curved upwards.
"I remember that. It was my favorite part,"
she said.
"I took it out of the disposal cart. I hate when they get rid of my favorite books." "Why did you come back?"
she asked.
"You must be in your 50s by now."
I winced. "I'm only in my 30s. She shrugged.
"A grown-up. I wish I could have lived to be grown-up."
"Some of the details are still fuzzy to me," I said. "Can you tell me what happened?"
"I guess,"
she said, shuffling her feet, which were not quite touching the floor.
"We were in our favorite corner, reading our book, when we noticed something strange on the shelf high above us. I tried to climb up the bookcase to get it, but before I got there, the bookcase tipped over on top of us. I hit my head against the floor, and the falling books hit you and knocked you out. I remember everything starting to get dark, but just before I did, I looked over and saw what was on the top shelf. a small bronze bell. After that, everything went black. And the next thing I knew, I was here in the library, alone. But I wasn't in my body anymore. I saw people coming to help you, and what looked like me on the floor. But they took you away. They eventually took my body away, and then everyone left. I was alone, and I've been that way ever since, all these years.
I'm so sorry, I said. I didn't mean to leave you. And to be honest, I couldn't even remember any of this until just now. I wouldn't have left you if I could have prevented it. She smiled slightly.
Maybe. But at least we're together now. At least for a few more moments.
What do you mean by that? I asked. Is something wrong?
It's okay, but I have to ask you something now.
Lonnie said. What is it? What can I do? I asked excitedly.
Wake up.
She said. Suddenly, the loud ringing of hundreds of bells filled my ears. The deafening sounds were hurting my ears, and when it reached its peak, I sat upright in my bed, now awake, with the sound of bells gradually fading out. It was all a dream, I said. However, on the bed next to me was a copy of Lemony Snicket's The Dark. I remembered having the book and being strangely drawn towards it, but didn't remember it being in my room. Well, really strange. I chalked it up to coincidence. I decided to go to the kitchen to get a drink, but when my foot reached the floor, I kicked something that made a tiny ringing sound. I quickly turned on the lights and saw that it was a tiny bronze bell. I found the courage to pick it up, and when I turned it over, I read an inscription that sent chills down my spine. It read, "Together, forever."
Whew. That was a very chilling story. How did you get all those special effects as you were telling that story? I don't understand.
It's just part of my memory, honestly.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's quite a memory you have now. That really sends some chills down my spine. But that's okay because we can all relax and keep calm because we're just telling some stories tonight, right?